They are some of the most available coins in America, found in drawers, jars, and everyday pocket change, but don't let that fool you. The Jefferson 5-cent Monticello nickel may be common, but its story is anything but ordinary. Millions were made, billions were spent, and yet these nickels quietly carry decades of American history, design consistency, and hidden collector interest. From everyday circulation pieces to overlooked mint-mark varieties, the most available Jefferson nickels teach us that value is not always about rarity. It's about knowledge. Today, we explore the most available Jefferson Monticello 5-cent nickels, the coins everyone sees, few understand, and almost everyone underestimates, because sometimes the most common coins tell the most powerful stories. So let's get started first. The 1941 Jefferson 5-cent nickel, without a mint mark, is more than a small piece of copper-nickel metal. It is a silent witness to a world standing on the edge of transformation, struck in a year when America was about to be pulled into the greatest global conflict in human history. In 1941, the United States Mint in Philadelphia produced Jefferson nickels bearing no mint mark, as was the standard practice for that mint, and these coins quietly entered circulation just months before the attack on Pearl Harbor would forever change the nation's direction. Holding a 1941 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel today means holding a coin that passed through the hands of factory workers, shopkeepers, soldiers' families, and ordinary citizens living in uncertain times, when the future felt unstable, but hope still endured. The obverse of the coin features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States, rendered with calm dignity, his profile facing left, symbolizing intellect, democracy, and the ideals upon which the nation was founded. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust, Liberty," and the date 1941 surround Jefferson's portrait, each word carrying weight during a year when faith, freedom, and resilience were more than slogans, they were necessities. On the reverse side, the iconic Monticello design stands proudly, depicting Jefferson's Virginia home, a symbol of architectural beauty, Enlightenment thinking, and early American ambition. Above Monticello, the word Monticello appears, while E pluribus unum arches across the top, reminding viewers that for many, one nation stands united. Beneath the building, 5 cents and United States of America complete the design, grounding the coin in its practical role as everyday money, while simultaneously elevating it as a national emblem. The Monticello reverse of 1941 is especially admired by collectors for its sharp lines when found in higher grades, as the steps leading up to Monticello have become a critical point of evaluation. Full steps examples, where at least 5 or 6 uninterrupted steps are visible, are particularly prized, as they indicate a strong strike and minimal wear, qualities that significantly enhance the coin's desirability and market value. The year 1941 represents the final full year before the U.S. nickel composition would face wartime scrutiny. At this time, Jefferson nickels were struck in a standard alloy of 75% copper and 25% nickel, a composition that would soon change due to the strategic importance of nickel during World War II. By late 1942, the mint would alter the alloy to include silver, resulting in the famous wartime silver nickels, with large mint marks above Monticello. This makes the 1941 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel one of the last issues of the classic pre-war composition, giving it a special place in numismatic history as a bridge between peacetime coinage and wartime necessity. Collectors often view this coin as the closing chapter of an era, a tangible reminder of normalcy before the nation mobilized its resources for survival and victory. From a mintage perspective, the Philadelphia Mint produced tens of millions of Jefferson nickels in 1941, making the coin relatively common in circulated condition. However, abundance does not diminish importance. Instead, it creates an opportunity for collectors of all levels to own a genuine piece of American history without an overwhelming financial barrier. In worn grades, the coin tells a story of heavy circulation, smoothened details, and softened lettering that speak of years spent moving through pockets, cash registers, and hands during a critical period in time. Each scratch and mark becomes a record of use, a reminder that this coin served its purpose during one of the most dramatic years of the 20th century. In higher grades, especially uncirculated examples, The 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark transforms into something entirely different, a frozen moment from the past, preserved almost exactly as it left the mint presses over 8 decades ago. Brilliant luster, sharp lettering, and strong definition in Jefferson's hair and Monticello's steps elevate the coin from a historical artifact to a numismatic treasure. Collectors often seek out these high-grade examples because they showcase the artistry of the design and the technical skill of the mint at a time when mass production met careful craftsmanship. Coins graded by professional services, such as MS-65 and above, can command significantly higher premiums, especially when combined with full steps designation, proving that condition can dramatically influence value even for a widely minted coin. Beyond condition and value, the emotional and symbolic power of the 1941 Monticello nickel cannot be ignored. This coin circulated during rationing discussions, wartime preparations, and moments of uncertainty that tested the American spirit. It was used to buy newspapers reporting on global events, to purchase small comforts during anxious times, and to support daily life while the world changed rapidly. For collectors and history enthusiasts alike, this connection adds depth that no price guide can fully capture. The coin becomes a storyteller, linking the present to a past shaped by courage, sacrifice, and resilience. The design itself reflects stability and tradition, qualities that were deeply important in 1941. Jefferson's composed expression contrasts with the turmoil unfolding across the globe, while Monticello stands firm, symbolizing endurance and the lasting strength of American ideals. This visual balance may be one reason the Jefferson nickel series has endured for decades, becoming one of the longest-running coin designs in U.S. history. The 1941 no mint mark issue sits comfortably within this lineage, representing both continuity and transition. For modern collectors, the 1941 Jefferson nickel without a mint mark offers multiple layers of appeal. It is accessible, historically significant, and rich in detail for those who appreciate careful study. It fits perfectly into date and mint sets, wartime transition collections, and thematic collections focused on pre-World War II America. It also serves as an excellent educational coin, helping new collectors learn about grading, strike quality, and historical context without the pressure of extreme rarity. Ultimately, the 1941 Monticello Jefferson nickel stands as a powerful reminder that even the smallest denominations can carry immense historical weight. It represents a nation on the brink of transformation, a final breath of peacetime normalcy before the demands of war reshaped industry, materials, and daily life. Whether worn smooth by decades of circulation or preserved in near-perfect condition, this coin speaks quietly but confidently across generations, proving that true value lies not only in rarity or price, but in the stories a coin carries and the history it preserves in metal form. Next up, the 1994 Jefferson 5-cent nickel bearing the D mint mark from the Denver Mint stands as a powerful reminder that even modern-era coins can carry deep historical meaning, hidden value potential, and enduring collector interest when viewed through the right lens. Struck during a decade marked by rapid technological change, economic shifts, and renewed interest in American heritage, this Monticello nickel represents stability in everyday life. A familiar object passed quietly from hand to hand while the world around it evolved at an unprecedented pace. In 1994, the United States Mint continued producing Jefferson nickels in the traditional copper-nickel clad composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel, maintaining continuity with a design that had already served the nation for more than half a century. The absence of dramatic change in the coin's appearance during this period is itself meaningful, reflecting the country's trust in established symbols and the enduring relevance of Thomas Jefferson's legacy. The obverse of the 1994 D. Jefferson nickel features the left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, a founding father whose influence on American democracy remains deeply rooted in the nation's identity. His calm, thoughtful expression conveys intellect, vision, and restraint, qualities admired both in leadership and in the ideals of the Republic. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," along the left rim, and "Liberty," paired with the date, 1994, on the right anchor the design and tradition, while quietly marking the coin's place in time. For collectors, the quality of Jefferson's hair detail, cheekbone definition, and the clarity of the lettering are crucial indicators of strike strength, especially for Denver Mint issues, which are known for producing large quantities with varying strike quality. Turning to the reverse, the iconic Monticello design dominates the coin, showcasing Jefferson's historic Virginia home as a symbol of enlightenment, architecture, and intellectual achievement. The word Monticello appears prominently above the building, while E pluribus unum arches across the top, reinforcing the enduring message of unity from diversity. Below Monticello, 5 cents and United States of America define the coin's denomination and national origin, while the small but significant D, mint mark to the right of Monticello, identifies Denver as the place of origin. This single letter transforms an otherwise common coin into a specific historical product of a particular mint, a detail that collectors closely examine when assembling date and mint sets. Although the 1994 D. Jefferson nickel was produced in very large numbers and is commonly found in circulation even today, its true appeal lies not in rarity alone, but in condition, strike quality, and the subtle variations that separate ordinary examples from exceptional ones. Many Denver minted nickels from the 1990s suffer from weak strikes, particularly on the steps of Monticello. As a result, examples displaying clearly defined, uninterrupted steps, known as full steps, are far more difficult to find than raw mintage figures suggest. These full steps coins command strong premiums in the numismatic market, proving that even a modern-era nickel can become highly desirable when preserved in superior condition. The historical context of 1994 adds another layer of depth to this coin. America was experiencing economic expansion, cultural shifts, and the early influence of the digital age. While the nickel itself changed little, its purchasing power and role in daily transactions reflected a society moving steadily toward electronic payments, credit cards, and automated systems. Yet, the Jefferson nickel remained a constant, used in vending machines, public transportation, parking meters, and small purchases, quietly supporting everyday commerce. This dual identity, both ordinary and historically grounded, makes the 1994 D. Monticello nickel a fascinating study in how money adapts to changing times while preserving tradition. For collectors, the 1994 D. Jefferson nickel serves as an accessible entry point into deeper numismatic study. It encourages careful examination of strike characteristics, luster quality, surface preservation, and die conditions. Uncirculated examples with strong luster exhibit a soft, satin-like sheen typical of mid-1990s mint production, while circulated coins often show smooth, wear-on Jefferson's cheek and jawline, as well as flattened details on Monticello. Each grade tells a different story, from coins that spent decades in circulation to those preserved untouched in rolls or mint sets. Beyond technical details, this coin also carries emotional and symbolic value. It represents continuity in American coinage, linking modern collectors to earlier generations who handled similar nickels decades before. The same Monticello design seen on a 1940s nickel also appears here, reinforcing a sense of historical connection that few everyday objects can offer. This continuity is especially meaningful for collectors who appreciate long-running series and the subtle evolution of design, production quality, and minting technology over time. In the broader Jefferson nickel series, the 1994 D issue stands as a reminder that value is not always obvious at first glance. While it may appear ordinary, closer inspection reveals opportunities for discovery, particularly in high-grade examples and full steps varieties. These coins challenge the assumption that only old or silver coins matter, proving instead that knowledge, patience, and attention to detail can uncover significance even in recent issues. Ultimately, the old 5-cent Jefferson nickel Monticello 1994 D mint mark coin embodies the quiet power of everyday money. It is a symbol of consistency in a rapidly changing world, a modest denomination carrying decades of history, craftsmanship, and cultural meaning. Whether found in loose change, preserved in a collection, or studied for its strike quality and design details, this coin demonstrates that true numismatic power lies not only in age or rarity, but in the stories, standards, and enduring symbols struck into metal for generations to come. Next up, the 1973 Jefferson 5-cent nickel, with no mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, is a powerful symbol of endurance, continuity, and everyday American life during a decade defined by uncertainty and transformation. This modest coin emerged at a time when the United States was navigating economic pressure, social change, and shifting global influence. Yet the familiar Jefferson nickel remained a constant presence in pockets and purses across the nation. Without a mint mark, as was standard for Philadelphia issues of the era, the 1973 nickel quietly entered circulation, serving millions of daily transactions while carrying within it the weight of its historical moment. The obverse of the coin presents the well-known left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, a founding father whose ideals of liberty, knowledge, and democracy continued to resonate strongly in the early 1970s. His image appears calm and reflective, offering a sense of stability during a period marked by inflation, energy concerns, and social change. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," along the left rim, and "Liberty," paired with the date, 1973, on the right frame Jefferson's portrait with enduring national values. Collectors closely examined this side for strike sharpness, particularly in Jefferson's hair, eye, and jawline, as Philadelphia mint nickels from this period can show variation in detail depending on die wear and production quality. On the reverse, the iconic Monticello design dominates the coin, showcasing Jefferson's historic Virginia home as a symbol of enlightenment, balance, and architectural achievement. Above the structure appears E pluribus unum, reinforcing the concept of unity, while Monticello is clearly inscribed across the building itself. Below, 5 cents and United States of America define the coin's denomination and national identity. The absence of a mint mark confirms its Philadelphia origin, a detail that helps collectors distinguish it from Denver and San Francisco issues of the same year. The year 1973 holds particular significance in American history, adding depth to this coin story. It was a period of economic strain marked by rising inflation and the early stages of the energy crisis, events that affected everyday life and purchasing power. During this time, the Jefferson nickel played a practical role in commerce, used for small purchases, transportation, and daily necessities. Each circulated example reflects this reality, with worn high points on Jefferson's cheek and softened details on Monticello, telling the story of a coin that worked hard during challenging times. From a numismatic perspective, the 1973 no-mint mark Jefferson nickel is relatively common in circulated grades, yet condition remains the key factor in determining collector interest. Uncirculated examples, with strong luster and minimal contact, marks reveal the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint and the subtle beauty of the Monticello design. Of particular importance are coins displaying clearly defined steps on Monticello, known as full steps. These examples are considerably scarcer than their worn counterparts and are highly valued by collectors who appreciate precision, strong strikes, and superior preservation. The alloy composition of the 1973 Jefferson nickel remains the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard that had been in place since the series began, excluding the wartime silver issues of the 1940s. This continuity in metal content further reinforces the coin's role as a stable element of American currency during a time of economic fluctuation. While inflation reduced purchasing power, the physical presence and trusted design of the nickel offered a sense of reliability in everyday transactions. For collectors, the 1973 Philadelphia Jefferson nickel offers an accessible yet meaningful addition to a collection. It fits seamlessly into date and mint sets, typesets, and collections focused on the economic and social history of the 1970s. Studying this coin encourages attention to strike quality, surface preservation, and the subtle differences that distinguish an average example from an exceptional one. It also serves as an excellent educational piece for those learning about mint marks, grading standards, and the importance of context in numismatics. Beyond technical details and market considerations, this coin carries emotional and symbolic value. It represents continuity across generations, linking the early years of the Jefferson nickel series to the modern era. The same Monticello design seen on coins from the 1940s and 1950s also appears here, reinforcing a sense of historical connection that few everyday objects can provide. This connection transforms the 1973 no-mint mark nickel from simple change into a tangible link to the past. Ultimately, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel Monticello 1973 with no-mint mark embodies the quiet strength of everyday American coinage. It tells a story of resilience during economic uncertainty, of tradition maintained through change, and of history preserved in a form small enough to fit in the palm of a hand. Whether found worn from years of circulation or preserved in near-mint condition, this coin stands as a powerful reminder that even the most ordinary objects can carry extraordinary stories, waiting to be discovered by those who take the time to look closely. Next up, the 1972 Jefferson 5-cent nickel with the P mint mark stands as a quiet yet powerful witness to a pivotal moment in modern American history, a time when the nation balanced tradition with rapid social, economic, and political change. Struck at the Philadelphia Mint during an era shaped by the aftermath of the 1960s, the ongoing Vietnam War, and shifting economic confidence, this Monticello nickel circulated widely in everyday life, while carrying within it the enduring ideals of the United States. The presence of the P mint mark is especially meaningful, as Philadelphia had only recently begun experimenting with placing its initial on certain denominations, making the 1972 P nickel an important transitional issue within the long-running Jefferson series. The obverse of the coin features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, rendered with a calm, intellectual expression that reflects his role as a philosopher, statesman, and architect of American liberty. His image had appeared on the nickel since 1938, and by 1972 it had become a symbol of continuity in U.S. coinage. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," along the left rim, and "Liberty," paired with the date, 1972, on the right framed Jefferson's portrait with words that carried special weight during a period of national debate and reevaluation. Collectors carefully examined this side for strike quality, paying close attention to Jefferson's hair detail, cheek, and eye, as these areas often reveal the difference between an average example and a sharply struck coin. On the reverse, the iconic Monticello design dominates the coin, presenting Jefferson's Virginia home as a symbol of enlightenment, balance, and architectural refinement. Above the structure appears E pluribus unum, a reminder of unity and diversity, while Monticello is clearly inscribed across the building itself. Below, 5 cents and United States of America establish the coin's denomination and national identity. To the right of Monticello, the small but significant P mint mark identifies the Philadelphia Mint as the place of origin, a detail that sets this issue apart from many earlier Jefferson nickels that carried no mint mark at all. The year 1972 adds an important layer of historical context to this coin. America was facing inflationary pressures, cultural shifts, and growing skepticism toward institutions. Yet everyday commerce continued to rely on familiar currency. The Jefferson nickel played an essential role in daily transactions, used for transportation, small purchases, and local trade. Each circulated example reflects this reality, with softened details and smooth surfaces that tell the story of a coin that worked hard during a challenging and transitional era. From a numismatic standpoint, the 1972 P. Jefferson nickel is widely available in circulated condition, but scarcity emerges in higher grades. Uncirculated examples, with strong luster and minimal contact marks, reveal the craftsmanship of the Philadelphia Mint during the early 1970s. Of particular interest to collectors are coins with clearly defined, uninterrupted steps on Monticello, known as full steps. These examples are significantly harder to find and command premiums that far exceed face value, demonstrating that condition and strike quality are key drivers of desirability even for modern-era nickels. The alloy composition of the 1972 Jefferson nickel remains the traditional 75% copper and 25% nickel, a standard that had defined the series since its inception, excluding the wartime silver issues. This continuity in metal content reinforces the coin's role as a stable element of American currency during a time of economic uncertainty. While inflation eroded purchasing power, the physical reliability and familiar design of the nickel provided a sense of trust in everyday exchanges. For collectors today, the 1972 P. Monticello nickel offers both accessibility and depth. It fits naturally into date-in-mint sets, transitional mint mark collections, and historical sets focused on the 1970s. Studying this coin encourages a deeper understanding of grading standards, strike characteristics, and the subtle differences that separate ordinary pieces from exceptional ones. It also serves as an educational bridge between earlier no-mint mark Philadelphia issues and later coins, where the P became a standard feature. Beyond its technical attributes, the 1972 P. Jefferson nickel carries symbolic significance. It represents continuity during change, linking the ideals of the nation's founders to a period of questioning and transformation. The same Monticello design seen on coins from the mid-20th century appears here, reinforcing a sense of historical connection that transcends generations. Ultimately, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel Monticello 1972 P. mint mark coin embodies the quiet power of everyday money. It is a reminder that even small denominations can reflect big moments in history, preserving the story of a nation navigating uncertainty while holding fast to its foundational values. Whether worn from years of circulation or preserved in pristine condition, this coin stands as a meaningful artifact of American life, waiting to be appreciated by those who look beyond face value and recognize the deeper narrative struck into its metal. Next up, the 1999 Jefferson 5-cent nickel bearing the P. mint mark from the Philadelphia Mint represents a defining moment in modern American coinage, a year when tradition, transition, and the future of money quietly intersected in the palm of everyday life. By 1999, the United States stood at the edge of a new millennium, surrounded by technological optimism, economic confidence, and a growing sense that the world was about to change forever. Amid all this anticipation, the Jefferson Monticello nickel continued its steady role, unchanged in design yet rich in meaning, connecting past ideals to a rapidly approaching future. For the first time in the history of the Jefferson nickel series, a circulating 5-cent coin from Philadelphia carried a visible P mint mark, instantly giving the 1999 P issue a special place in numismatic history and making it a landmark coin for collectors of all levels. The obverse of the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel features the familiar left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, a symbol of intellect, democracy, and the philosophical foundations of the United States. His expression remains calm and deliberate, reflecting the enduring strength of the nation's founding principles even as the country prepared to enter a new century. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust," along the left rim and "Liberty," with the date 1999, on the right anchor the coin firmly in American tradition while also marking a historic year. For collectors, the sharpness of Jefferson's hair detail, the clarity of his eye and cheekbone, and the overall strike quality are key factors in evaluating the coin's condition, especially since late 1990s nickels often show variability in strike strength. The reverse side proudly displays Monticello, Jefferson's iconic Virginia home, a design that had already served the nation for more than 60 years by the time this coin was struck. Monticello stands as a symbol of enlightenment, balance, and architectural achievement, qualities that resonate strongly with Jefferson's legacy. Above the building, E Pluribus Unum emphasizes unity, while Monticello appears clearly across the structure. Below, 5 cents and United States of America define the coin's purpose, and to the right of Monticello, the small but historically significant P mint mark confirms its Philadelphia origin. This single letter transformed an otherwise familiar design into a milestone issue, as it marked the first time Philadelphia placed its mint mark on the Jefferson nickel for general circulation. Although the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel was produced in large quantities and remains common in circulated condition, its importance goes far beyond mintage numbers. Collectors recognize it as a transitional coin, bridging the classic Monticello reverse era and the design changes that would follow just a few years later. In 2004, the Jefferson nickel series would undergo major temporary redesigns to commemorate the Lewis and Clark expedition, making the 1999 P one of the last standard Monticello nickels before a period of artistic experimentation. This context elevates the coin from everyday change to a historical marker within the long-running Jefferson nickel series. Condition plays a critical role in the value and appeal of the 1999 P nickel. Many examples found in circulation show wear on Jefferson's cheek and jaw, as well as softened details on Monticello, particularly on the steps. Collectors pay close attention to these steps, as sharply defined, uninterrupted steps, known as full steps, are relatively scarce for late 1990s Philadelphia issues. A 1999 P. Jefferson nickel with strong luster, clean surfaces, and full steps can command a premium far beyond its face value, demonstrating how modern coins can still offer exciting opportunities for discovery and appreciation. The broader historical backdrop of 1999 adds another powerful layer to this coin story. This was a year defined by global connectivity, booming markets, and widespread discussion of the Y2K transition. While computers and digital systems dominated headlines, the Jefferson nickel remained a physical constant, used in everyday transactions such as public transportation, vending machines, and small retail purchases. In a time when the future felt increasingly digital, this simple 5-cent piece continued to represent trust, stability, and tangible value. For collectors, the 1999 P. Jefferson nickel serves as both a conversation piece and a cornerstone of modern U.S. coin collections. It is often included in type sets, date and mint sets, and millennium-theme collections. Its historical first status ensures lasting interest, while its availability keeps it accessible to new collectors. Studying this coin encourages attention to strike quality, surface preservation, and subtle differences that separate ordinary examples from exceptional ones. Ultimately, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel Monticello 1999 P. Mint Mark coin stands as a powerful symbol of continuity at the threshold of change. It captures the moment when the United States prepared to step into a new millennium while still honoring the ideals and designs of the past. Small in size yet rich in meaning, this coin proves that even modern issues can carry lasting numismatic power, reminding collectors that history is not only found in the distant past, but also in the everyday objects that quietly accompany us through moments of transition and transformation. Next up, the 1989 Jefferson 5-cent nickel with the D. Mint mark from the Denver Mint is a powerful example of how an everyday coin can quietly capture the spirit of an era defined by change, confidence, and continuity. Struck at the end of the 1980s, a decade remembered for rapid economic growth, technological progress, and shifting global dynamics, this Monticello nickel circulated during a time when the world was transforming, yet American coinage remained firmly rooted in tradition. The Jefferson nickel of 1989 carried forward a design that had already served the nation for over 50 years, reinforcing stability and familiarity in daily commerce, while history unfolded around it. On the obverse, Thomas Jefferson's left-facing portrait dominates the design, conveying intellect, resolve, and calm leadership. Jefferson's image had become one of the most recognizable faces in American currency by 1989, symbolizing democratic ideals and the enduring legacy of the nation's founders. The inscriptions "In God We Trust" along the left rim and "Liberty," paired with the date 1989 on the right, provide balance and context, anchoring the coin in both faith and freedom. Collectors closely examine this side for strike quality, especially in Jefferson's hair details, eye, and cheek, as Denver Mint nickels from this period can show variation in sharpness depending on die condition and production pressure. The reverse features the iconic Monticello, Jefferson's historic Virginia home, rendered with clean architectural lines that emphasize symmetry, intellect, and permanence. Above the structure appears E Pluribus Unum, a timeless reminder of unity, while Monticello is clearly inscribed across the building itself. Below, 5 cents and United States of America define the coin's denomination and national identity. To the right of Monticello sits the D Mint mark, identifying Denver as the place of origin. Though small, this letter carries great significance for collectors assembling complete date and mint sets, and for those studying differences in strike quality between mints. The 1989 D. Jefferson nickel was struck in large quantities, making it common in circulated condition, yet its true value lies in quality rather than rarity. Many examples spent years in circulation, resulting in worn high points such as Jefferson's cheek and jaw, along with softened details on Monticello's steps. For numismatists, the steps are of particular importance. Coins that display clearly defined, uninterrupted steps, known as full steps, are far more difficult to find than mintage numbers alone would suggest. These high-grade examples are highly sought after and can command strong premiums, proving that careful preservation transforms an ordinary coin into a standout collectible. The historical context of 1989 adds depth to this coin story. It was a year marked by major global events, including the end of long-standing political divisions and the sense that a new world order was emerging. In everyday American life, the nickel remained a constant, used for small purchases, public transportation, vending machines, and local commerce. While history books focus on dramatic moments, this coin reminds us that ordinary objects continue to support daily routines, quietly circulating through hands during times of great change. For collectors today, the 1989 D. Jefferson nickel offers an excellent opportunity to study modern minting techniques, surface quality, and the effects of mass production. Uncirculated examples often exhibit bright luster and clean fields, while well-preserved coins show minimal contact marks and strong definition throughout the design. Roll searching and mint set exploration remain popular methods for finding high-grade pieces, adding an element of excitement and discovery to collecting this issue. Beyond its technical aspects, the 1989 D. Monticello nickel carries symbolic weight. It represents continuity across generations, linking the mid-20th century origins of the Jefferson nickel to the modern era. The same design seen in wartime nickels of the 1940s also appeared in the late 1980s, reinforcing a sense of historical connection that few modern objects can match. This continuity makes the coin especially appealing to collectors who appreciate long-running series and the subtle evolution of strike quality, luster, and minting standards over time. In the broader Jefferson nickel series, the 1989 D issue stands as a reminder that significance is not always defined by age or metal content. Instead, it is found in context, condition, and the stories embedded within the coin. While it may seem ordinary at first glance, closer inspection reveals a piece of American history shaped by its era, its use, and its enduring design. Ultimately, the 5-cent Jefferson nickel Monticello 1989 D mint mark coin embodies the quiet power of everyday money. It reflects a nation moving forward while holding firmly to its foundations, a small yet meaningful artifact of a transformative time. Whether preserved in high-grade condition or worn smooth by years of circulation, this coin proves that even modern nickels can carry lasting numismatic importance, rewarding those who take the time to look beyond face value and discover the deeper stories struck into metal.